Hello everyone, I welcome you to the Amrita IS monthly current affairs series, and we'll be discussing May month defense. Starting with the Patriot missile system. Now, Patriot missile system is not an Indian missile system. It's an United Nations, not United Nations, United States of America's defense system that it installs in the other countries. Now, you know that the US is said to be a global policeman, isn't it? So it establishes an umbrella. It provides security umbrella. It provides to its allies. For example, South Korea, Japan, Saudi Arabia, some countries in the European nations. So it is a part of it. So Patriot is a long range, all altitude, all weather, all defense, air defense system to counter the tactical ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and advanced aircraft. Now, currently it was in the news because US has decided to pull off its Patriot missile air defense system from Saudi Arabia. Okay, so it says that the threat from the Iran has waned. It is a part of the larger part, that is Iran versus Saudi Cold War, that is called Arab Cold War, and US Iran standoff that is there. So why is it important to discuss such missile systems which are not related to India? Because of this. Now, this question came in 2018. Now, that was a time period when US and North Korea standoff was going on, right? US was saying that North Korea should give up this nuclear weapon, and finally, Mr. Trump has also taken the North Korean dictator on the negotiating table as well. They had, I think, 3 summits, right? So, third was as a missile that was deployed in the South Korea and Japan. And one of the condition of the North Korean dictator was that this third missile should go. So, it is a part of the anti-America and an American anti-missile system, right? And this is what, if the Patriot missiles comes, question will be very easy. So you can see very different options are there. Israeli, India, America, defense collaboration between Japan and South Korea. So in that term, you need to know, need to know that what it is. Next is Sheikh Katkar Committee. So now it's not a new committee. It was formed in 2016. So the basic idea of the committee was to enhance the combat capability and, more importantly, work on the defense expenditure of the armed force. So basically, where should the expenditure should lie? The defense, the idea is to the expenditure should lie on the capital side rather than on the revenue side, right? So capital means modern technologies, these big weapon systems, right? Rather than revenue, that is the severance, or you can say the pension, the salaries, the maintenance of these farms, we will see maintenance on the civilian infrastructure, that is not too much required. So focus on the capital expenditure, and in that regard it has given many recommendations. Why it is in the news? Because 3 of its recommendations have been accepted by the government in the May month. So for example, one of the recommendation is to increase the defense budget to 2.5 to 3% of the GDP, keeping in mind the possible future threats. Restructuring the civilian workforce so that this military engineering service exam should be done by the departmentally employed staff, so that all the non-important work should be outsourced, something like that. Then closure of the military farms and army postal establishment in the peace locations. No need of it. Why we are maintaining it? Why we are paying those people, right? They should be employed in more operational areas which are required. So in the May month, this cabinet meeting, they have decided that three recommendations we will accept of the Sheikh Katkar committee. So what are the 3 recommendations? Just need to keep in mind. First one is outsourcing the road construction work beyond the optimum capacity of the BRO. So work which is not in capacity of the BRO should be outsourced. Now one of my friend is in BRO. He says that it is his views that BRO, though it works on very strategic roads, but its work is very slow. It is his opinion, because he is a civil engineer there. He says that if the work is given to a private sector, the work can be done more diligently and very early is also. You can compare the work with China, right? Chinese work at the border infrastructure. You can see in the recent DS-DBO road also. So it took around 20 years to complete this road. Still some part will be completed by October. So it has taken a lot of years to complete this road. And this is why the work which is not in the capacity of this BRO has to be done by it has to be outsourced. Then it is said that the EPC contract should be made mandatory for the projects that are over 100 crore. Remember that. So if a project is over 100 crore, it will be done through EPC. What is EPC? It is a type of investment model we will discuss in the economy session of the May month. Okay, don't worry about it. Then the second recommendation is it should not be like that the BRO should not be empowered. BRO should be empowered. When okay, I was discussing that in the mains answer writing session. So I was discussing that the improving internal capacity vis-a-vis China policy, we need to work on these institutions such as BRO. So the empowerment of these institutions is also important. So in that regard, the delegation of the power, for example, they have said that this BRO should get the power to procure these plants, equipment, machinery. If the power is more than 7.5 crore, if the for example, currently they can procure up to 7.5 crore. Now they can procure up to 100 crores. Okay, so that power should go to the BRO. They should not ask the central command every time if they have to procure something more than 7.5 crore, let's say 8 crore, 9 crore. Because in that, the administrative delays are there, then you know Tariq pe Tariq, right? Then the third one, land acquisition and all the statutory clearance like forest and the environment should be included in the detailed project report. And this is a relatively counterintuitive suggestion. So please remember it. Okay. Why? Because if the option comes that forest and environment clearances are should not be the part of this detailed project report, then you will see, okay, intuitively it's look good because that is the modus operandi of this new government, Modi government, I should say. But this is not that. So it is said that these should be the part of the detailed project report. Around if the 90% of the clearance is not given, till then the work will not be awarded. So keep that in mind. Let's discuss BRO. So BRO, an important institution, as we was discussing basically. What important you need to keep in mind that it is the administrative control of the Ministry of Defense. Okay. And obviously it coordinates the speedy development of this border infrastructure in the north, northeastern. Okay. So remember that. Remember, it's not related to the maritime borders, land borders only, right? Border road. Because currently border also includes the maritime border and all. Just to clarify that. One more important thing you need to keep in mind that it also construct road in the friendly foreign countries such as Bhutan, Myanmar and Afghanistan. For example, it has constructed some of the roads in the Afghanistan. Okay. So this is a typical India Air book like question that you need to keep that in mind. Right. So this is that. So, Mr. Rajnath Singh has said that has directed the BRO that the work on the strategic DSDBO road should be completed by October. This DSDBO is very important. This area, this location, please keep in mind. Just revise it once before your exam also. Then we have Border Area Development Program, very old program, 1986-1987. Earlier, the program was dedicated to the borders, which is the Pakistani borders only. But now it is extended to all the borders, all the land borders. Okay. So it's a centrally sponsored scheme. One thing you need to keep in mind that it is a Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay. So Ministry of Home Affairs is there. So the funds are provided to states as a non-lapsable spatial central assistance. Okay. So that is non-lapsable. That means it does not lapse after the March month. So the financial year ends on March. So for example, 784 crores are given in a particular year. This year, in fact, this much amount is given. This 2021 budget. So if you are able to use only 600 crore, then this remaining 184 crore will not be lapsed. It will be given, it will be added to the next year's budget. It is unlike the money given to the other departments, okay, where the money lapses. And that is why it is called March rush. In those departments, they spend a lot in that March month, okay. So remember that this Border Area Development Program is a part of the Ministry of Home Affairs, because this is where we can miss out, because we have already seen that this BRO works under the MOD, right? Okay. Next is this one. Just to ramp up the infrastructure, Ministry of Home Affairs have decided to spend 10% of the centrally sponsored scheme only on the borders on Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal, and Uttarakhand. So they've said that 10% of this fund should be used on this infrastructure of the China side only, right? That is the China impact. Now, just to have some yearbook stuff. So, what are the departments under Ministry of Home Affairs? Just to you need to know these things. So, we have read about this department, Department of Border Management, right? Under which this particular scheme was going on. Then we have Department of Internal Security. For example, any stats for Naxal area comes or CRPF. All these things are under Ministry of Home Affairs. Then Mr. Amit Shah, then Department of Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, Department of Home, Department of Official Language, and Department of States. Very important. Ministry of Home Affairs is one of the most important ministries. So you need to know the departments of it as well. Okay? Right. This is a typical India book stuff. And just if we got an opportunity, that's why we read it. Next is tour of duty. What is this? So the army has proposed that the young people can be given opportunity to serve in army, both as officers as well as soldiers for 3-year stint. So you can see it as a extended internship kind of a thing. Okay, so it will be a voluntary internship program for the youth. Indian Army proposed to allow the common citizen to join its rank as the officers or the soldiers. Importantly, no much benefits such as pension, OROP, something like this, severance pay, all these things will not be given. Retirement benefits will not be given. So you'll be paid for those 3 years, but not after it. The idea from the army is to reduce its financial burden and those funds for the modernization. That is, we call capital expenditure, isn't it? So you can also see that as a ploy for reducing its revenue expenditure. Right. Now, just to discuss what are the pros and cons of the tour of duty. For example, pros of it. So first is you can say the youth, which is too much in India, right? Demographic dividend. So channelize their energy. When we channelize their energy, right? So they can become good citizens, right? This patriotism, feeling of patriotism, this nationalism, all these things can increase. Then we can see that cost reduction obviously is there. You can see from here, the point of unemployment can also be reduced because they will get some money for those 3 years at least. Cost reduction, we have discussed. So modernization, cost reduction for army and the government. Then after training, those people who are trained, you can see if they are trained from army, how much disciplined they will be. Disciplined, confident, they will be very diligent, very committed to the work. So those will be the pros of the tours of duty. Okay, right? What will be the cons of the tours of duty, or what are the concerns associated with this tour of duty? So basically it is we concerned that those who are employed for 3 years, they will be in the non-operational area. When they are in non-operational area, they will not learn anything. They will not learn any new skills. Then once they enter into it, they have the idea that after 3 years we have to finish. So from the very first day they have, okay, we have only 3 years. So you can see the productivity can decline, right? Because they know that they're not going to continue in here. So for example, the same argument we have seen, the contractualization of the labor. So when the labor is on a contract, labor knows that we are only associated for this particular contract, then what is the need to learn anything, right? Then it has been argued that we have already institutes such as NCC, why not take people from that, why to have this another thing? So duplication of effort is there. Then after 3 years, what happens? So they don't have a skill set they don't have a proper skill set for the open market, and that is another issue. For example, after which, what skills they have learned which are required for the open market from army, what skills they can learn. Yes, that's fine. Character will be built up, discipline can be there. But what are the further skills that are built up? So those are concerns with the tour of duty. So it's up to the government to see whether this is a good move or not. Next is Garud portal. So this portal is basically government authorization for relief using the drones. So it is launched by Director General of the Civil Aviation, right? So it will provide the exemptions to the government agency, those who want to do the COVID-19 related drone operations, surveillance or anything. For example, you must have seen very hilarious videos those that come with the drone to track that how many people are following the social distancing norm, people are not getting gathered in any place, or to provide the relief stuff also. So drones are becoming very important. So DGCA is a regulatory body and it deals with the safety issues. So Ministry of Civil Aviation has launched its Garud portal to fast track the approvals of the drone for the COVID-19. So basically fast tracking of the clearances. Next is Defense Testing Infrastructure Scheme. So from the name itself, testing infrastructure. So testing for defense and aerospace manufacturing, because now the government is giving a lot of thrust to the defense manufacturing. This question you can expect in your main exams as well, the defense manufacturing. So the objective is to promote indigenous defense production with special focus on the MSME and the startups. And the special purpose vehicle will be created. So they have around 400 crores allotted for this scheme, right? Create a state of all testing infrastructure scheme, right? Okay. Next is 13th edition of the Aero India. So Aero India not very important. Aero India is a very important exhibition. So it is done once in 2 years, right? So in 2021 it will be held in the Karnataka. Again, not very important, but just it was in the news. That is why we have covered it. Next is the last one, Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. So it is given by the United Nations for the peacekeeping operations. And it's a matter for proud that a women officer from India is given this prize along with the officer from the Brazil. So Major Suman Gawani of Indian Army, who was a military observer, former deployed with the United Nations mission in the South Sudan, Indian mission in the South Sudan. Civil war was there. So she was employed there and she got this particular award. Okay, not very important, but it can be asked. We should not miss out on these details, right? Okay, then she was a focal point of contact for the gender issues for the military observers. You know, UN peacekeeping also is very important topic. It any day can come in GS also. UN peacekeeping are from their earlier role of the conflict management. Their new role is the rehabilitation, resettlement, and you can see her role in that regard. Okay, with this, let us finish this session. Let us quickly revise what we have done. We started with the Patriot missile system. So Patriot is in third. For example, I've shown you the example question has come on third. So Patriot missile system is of USA. Then Shekatkar Committee. Shekatkar Committee's recommendation. 3 of the recommendations have been accepted. Then BRO, Institute of the Ministry of Defense. And the next scheme, that is Border Area Management and Development Program from Ministry of Homes. Okay. Then we have discussed the different departments of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Border Management, under which this Border Area Development Program was there. Then tour of duty, we have discussed pros and cons of it, that or concerns associated with it. Then we discussed Garud portal, and then we discussed defense testing infrastructure scheme, and finally Aero India and Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award, that is United Nations Peacekeeping. So we are done with the defense of May month as well. Okay, so defense of April and May both are done. Very less session of May month and April month are left. We'll finish very quickly. After that, June and July month I will start simultaneously, and we are thinking to start August month as well. But August month will be covered a relatively non-conventional way. But still we are thinking over the August month. We'll definitely cover it somehow. But June and July we'll finish by September 10. Definitely we'll try to finish by September 10. So that, and June and July are the most important month for current affair preparation for this year. In fact, I will say from February or January to July are very important for this year's prelims. Okay, current affair wise. So see you in the next session, everyone. Bye bye for now. Thank you.